One of the worst things that you could possibly do for yourself is not follow through on your dreams. You shouldn't be listening to your friends or your family or your teachers or anyone else in this fucking world except for yourself. What do you want out of life? What is your definition of success? Now, relentlessly pursue that desire, that goal, that dream outcome if you actually want it bad enough. Because like one of my first mentors ever, Charlie Morgan, said, if you want to be successful, if you want to be rich, you will. It's that simple. And if you don't believe that, it's just because you don't want it bad enough. Any man with a strong enough why can bear almost any how. And at the end of the day, most people say they want to be successful, but they really don't. They really don't. Because they still go on TikTok, they still swipe on Instagram, they still text their friends and hang out and waste time. They say they don't have the energy or the motivation or the knowledge to succeed, but that's because they're not who they need to be yet. You can't make $1 million if you don't know how to make it. You need to become he who's capable. And you can only become he who is capable by turning into the type of person who's capable of achieving that type of success. Now, to go from one person to another, you have to suffer because you're essentially killing yourself so you can create a new being. That new being will be more capable, more disciplined, more focused, better equipped to succeed and achieve the goals your current self desires. You don't have everything that you want out of life because you're not capable of getting it. If you could get it, you'd get it. So what does that mean? That means the only way to get out of this current state of being into external reality is through work. It's through action. And that's why if you look at the similarities amongst what all these successful entrepreneurs and billionaires online say, it's that you need to take action. Whether you're religious or not, on a scriptural level, biblical scripture says faith without works is dead. And that has universal truth behind it. Because visualization, manifestation, that's all real. But if you just sit in bed all day and proclaim you're going to be some successful being, but then you never actually do anything, you won't make progress. And a lot of people, some of you might be watching this video, and you've probably watched 100 videos before this, to feel like you're being productive. You feel like you're missing that key piece that's going to be everything that you need in order to succeed and reach your goals. But it's just not right. It's just not true. The raw reality of actually figuring it out. Because it took me 6 months to get my first client. It took me 13 months to get my first 10K month. Let me tell you right now, the honest truth, which most people just don't even talk about, is YouTube will give you guidelines. Information will set you up on the right trajectory. But I can give somebody the same information that made me $30,000 in a month within the first 2 months of starting a brand new business in August, and they won't make anything with it. Because it's not just the information, it's the consumer as well. You have to be ready to take massive amounts of action, and it's not going to be easy at all. It's going to be the hardest thing that you ever fucking do. But that's the point. Because what has ever been worth it that came easy? I mean, come on. Nothing, man. So, like, stop living for social media. Stop going to people like me and asking for their advice. Stop putting your faith, your trust, and your conviction, your entire future into the hands of someone else who you have never even met in person. You know what you want out of life. In order to achieve the goals which you currently desire, you need to suffer. And I know that most people think this is just some cliche saying. Most people think that this is obvious, but they don't act that way. If it was so obvious, then why don't you seek suffering? Why don't you embrace suffering? And why don't you put yourself in situations where you can guarantee suffering? Because suffering is growth. When you go to the gym and work out, you feel like you're getting weaker, but you're getting stronger. When you learn something new, you feel like you're stupid, but you're getting smarter. So at the end of the day, how badly are you willing to suffer? And then are you actually going to take action on that? Because everybody can talk. Everybody can talk. I'm talking right now. And you know what? If I didn't have any real life solidified evidence to back up my claims and proclamations, I would just look like all these idiots online too. But guess what? I'm going to Las Vegas. I'm seeing Alex Hormozi. I'm going to meet him in Las Vegas. I mean, you know, we got 8th place in the world. We're one of the youngest school games winners ever. I'm not saying that out of ego. I'm not saying that to flex. I'm saying that because the only reason I was able to achieve a goal which I couldn't even conceptualize 3 years ago is because all I did was show up and take action. All I did was show up and implement. And if you can't even implement into your own life, then you don't even care about yourself. Because who's more important than you right now? You don't even have the life you want. If you're not living the life that you want to live, then your number one priority should be fixing that. That's it. So many people stay in this low state of being, this low vibrational frequency, because their minds are just wired to be this way. They've been suffering negatively for so long that they have just completely adapted to that lifestyle. And when they're not depressed, they seek depression. When they're not anxious, they seek anxiety. And when they're stable, they seek instability. How much longer are you going to hold yourself back from success? Because you really are the only person truly in the heart of your hearts that is stopping you from achieving what it is that you want to achieve. If I put a shotgun in your mother's mouth and I sent you a video, I said, I'm going to blow her brains out by the end of 2024 if you're not making at least 10K a month, do you think you'd be making 10K a month? Of course you would. Because you wouldn't even sleep. So why are you sleeping now? Well, Javen, because my mother's more important than my goals. Okay. Well, then that's why I'm going to beat you every fucking time. That's it. You want the honest truth, man? That's the mindset of a winner. And every single person, either client or strategic partner or mentor who I've spoken to who makes more than $10 million a year, they feel the exact same way. So if you're not ready to make that drastic change in your life, if you're not ready to go into a season of separation, if you're not ready to completely zone out everything and everybody in your life so that you can accomplish something that 99% of them will never do themselves, I'm just telling you how it is, man. This is the raw reality of entrepreneurship. And I'll say it one more time because I think these beginners tend to forget. That's why they quit 3 months in. So I'll say it again. This will be the hardest thing that you ever do. And don't expect it to be easy. Okay? Because it's going to be way harder than you expect. It's going to take way longer than you expect. You're going to want to give up more times than you can count. I mean, I've cried over my business, man. This is my whole life. And if you're not serious about it, don't even waste your time. Steve Jobs says those who get into entrepreneurship must be in love and obsessed with the process. Because any rational person would just give up. Just granted on how much work there is involved in making it happen. Any rational person would give up. Unless they genuinely loved it. Unless they were genuinely obsessed. So if you're not ready, just answer this question for yourself right now, because I'm going to be doing you such a favor. And for the ones that are not fit for this lifestyle, I will save you so much wasted energy. Ask yourself this question. Am I willing to remove everybody I know from my life? And am I willing to completely go out on my own for 3 to 4 years? And live the next 3 to 4 years like 99% of people won't, so I can live the rest of my life like 99% of people can't. Am I willing to jump off the cliff and build a plane on the way down? Am I willing to take the risk? Am I willing to stake my entire future on something which is uncertain? Are you willing to work 20 hours a day? When you have conversations with people, what do you guys talk about? Because I'll go to the grocery store and I'll start talking about how the fucking boxes are branded a specific type of way to be more appealing and more attractive to the eyes. It's not making me money talking about that, but it's because I've wired my brain over the past 3 years in a way where the only thing I can think of, the only thing I can do is what I'm actually reaching for. I mean, I have 1,700 members in the community right now. 99% of them don't do shit. And they tell me they have these goals, but they don't have goals. Because if they had goals, if they actually wanted it, they'd do something about it. You gotta stop crying about your fucking life, man. You're in control of your own reality. And if you feel like you're not, then that's a mindset issue. That's not a skill issue. Okay? That's it, man. That's it.